Hi, I'm Mark Sorrells, Professor of Plant Breeding and Genetics at Cornell University, and I've been here since 1978 and really have enjoyed working here at Cornell. My main responsibility here is to develop new varieties of oats, wheat, and barley for the northeastern U.S. Focus of my research is on developing new breeding methods. I'm going to start with a little bit of information about our breeding program here at Cornell. I have three technicians. David Bencher is our research support specialist. James Tanaka is our lab technician. And Josh Connect is our field assistant. I also have a postdoc by the name of Lauren Brzezowski working on oat metabolomics. I have several graduate students. Dan Sweeney just graduated, and he's currently breeding popcorn in Indiana. Shatalia Magursa just graduated, and she's now a Durham wheat breeder in Ethiopia. Ellie Toggin is from Seattle, and she is currently on a 6-month internship with Bayer Crop Science based in St. Louis, Missouri. Carl Kunze is from Wyoming, New York, and his project is to develop new varieties of naked barley and winter malting barley for the northeastern U.S. And also, Travis Rooney is from College Station, Texas. He's studying the impact of storage on malting quality and seed dormancy in pre-harvest sprouting resistant spring malting barley. I have a new graduate student that just joined us last week. Her name is Kay McNary, and she's from Missouri. She's currently working on a project called Value-Added Grains for Local and Regional Food Systems that I'll tell you more about in just a minute. The Cornell Small Grains Project has a long history. Liberty Hyde Bailey established the Department of Plant Breeding in 1907. And also that same year, Dr. H.J. Weber initiated the Small Grains Breeding Project. Dr. Harry Hauser Love came to the department as a graduate student in 1908. And in that following year, he assumed supervision of the Small Grains Breeding Program. Dr. Love expanded and continued the small grains breeding at Cornell University until his retirement in 1949. Dr. Neil Jensen came to Cornell as a graduate student in 1945, and he became the program leader in 1949. And then myself, I joined the project in 1978, and Dr. Jensen retired in 1979. Since 1907, this breeding program has released 34 winter wheat varieties, 23 spring oat, 7 winter barley varieties, and 4 spring barley varieties. Small grains are grown on more than 300,000 acres in New York and are valued at more than $1.5 million annually. Our most recent variety releases are a soft white winter wheat variety that has very high levels of Fusarium head blight resistance, a trait that's very important for the Northeast. We also released a spring malting barley variety named Excelsior Gold. Excelsior Gold is the first spring malting barley developed by Cornell that is well adapted to New York growing conditions. We went from the first cross in 2016 to certified seed production this year. This variety was developed in record time and is currently being grown for certified seed production in this region. In the year 2012, New York State passed the Farm Brewery Law that gave tax and marketing incentives to breweries, provided that they use at least 60% of New York grown ingredients in their brew. That stimulated the craft brewing industry, and today, New York State has the second most breweries in the United States, with more than 440 licensed breweries, and they produce more than 1.2 million barrels of craft beer annually. Some of our currently funded projects include a project funded by the New World Foundation on revitalizing grain production in the Hudson Valley. This is an important project because it provides organic vegetable growers in the Hudson Valley with options for rotating out of vegetables into a high-value food grain. New York State Ag and Markets supports our research and extension for malting barley production in this state. We also collaborate with Jesse Poland at Kansas State University on a USDA-funded project to develop high-yielding, climate-resilient wheat varieties for South Asia using genomic selection. And then the Brewers Association is funding a project titled Impact of Storage on Malting Quality and Seed Dormancy in Pre-Harvest Sprouting Resistant Spring Malting Barley. We also have several USDA funded projects, including a project funded by the USDA Wheat Coordinated Agriculture Project that Dr. George Dubkowski at UC Davis leads. It's called Validation and Characterization and Deployment of QTL for Grain Yield Components in Wheat. We also received funding from the U.S. Wheat and Barley Scab Initiative to develop soft winter wheat varieties and spring and winter barley varieties from the northeastern U.S. that have resistance to Fusarium head blight. We collaborate with Dr. John Lukianic on a project to study the transcriptomics and metabolomics and to identify drivers of seed composition in oat. Pat Hayes leads a project at Oregon State University, and we're involved in this project titled Multipurpose Organic Naked Barley. Well, Elena Vadimaniuk is in the crop science department here at Cornell, and we work with her on transcriptional regulation of copper homeostasis in cereals and its relationship to fertility and grain yield. And then finally, we lead a USDA Organic Research and Extension Initiative project titled Value-Added Grains for Local and Regional Food Systems. This project is focused on testing and developing high-value food grains for varieties in the Northeast and Midwest growing regions. And it involves a collaboration with the University of Vermont, Maine, Wisconsin, Illinois, and South Dakota State University. So that gives you a little bit of an overview about the small grains breeding project at Cornell University. I hope to see you around at the meetings, and feel free to contact me at any time with questions or if you just want to chat about small grains. Thank you very much for listening today.
This has been a production of Cornell University, on the web at cornell.edu.